Now let's dive into the headlines everybody's talking about. After months of pushback, the U.S. House and Senate approved a bill to publicly release all the files the Justice Department has on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. After initially urging his supporters to dismiss calls for the release as a hoax, U.S. President Donald Trump said he will sign the bill into law. So, is this a win for the Epstein victims? That is the question we're asking. Who wants to dive in first?
Yeah, I would say, sadly, it is a win. Not sadly, it's a win. It is a win because, sadly, the bar is so low for any justice for the victims of sex trafficking and sexual violence. So why is that a win? I think there's several reasons. Number one, you got the most powerful man on the planet who's been calling this a hoax for months to actually reverse course. That is a massive, massive win.
Can I just pause? Yeah, I agree with you, but he could release the documents right today.
Sure.
And he hasn't.
A win is a win,
Okay,
whatever way we get there.
Okay.
The other thing is, this is so validating for the victims, of which there are hundreds, if not more, who have constantly been trying to just get their voice heard and believed. Victims are never believed. So why is this a win? Not because we have anything in court happening yet, but because people are finally saying, we believe you. That is a win for a victim who says this. The other part here is, there is also momentum. This bill is called the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The whole idea here is not just for the victims, it is for transparency. And why do we need transparency? Up until this point, the U.S. government has been deciding internally, nah, nothing to see here, folks. We're not going to release them. They've been getting to be the arbiters of justice. When you release all of these files publicly, it is now up for the public to see and make people accountable for their bad behavior. And last but not least, I can't tell you the last time that we can say in the United States of America that you had any bipartisanship. They have been fighting as Republicans and Democrats on everything. The sky is blue. No, the sky is purple. No, the sky is red. They fight on everything. You had every single person except one vote in favor of this act. That is a win for these victims.
I hear you.
See, and it's interesting that you say that because of the months of pushback and trying to call it a hoax and trying to distract people, I find it very suspicious, or as my mother would say, though something in the water's not clean, that all of a sudden everybody's on board and now we're signing, now everybody's okay with it. I feel like Donald Trump spoke to his lawyer and they found a loophole around this, and I have a hard time believing, and I hate saying it, but I have a hard time believing that this is gonna lead to something great for the victims. And if you're questioning it, give me the name of 3 victims. You can't name them, but you know all the men who are involved or who are speculated to be in those files, and I think that's the problem. And I actually want to take the time to talk to the U.S. media. I know you are inundated with a lot of Trump stuff, but take the time to remember who this is about. This is about the women. This is about the people, the victims, and I'm not hearing enough when I see your coverage. That's something I just needed to say.
I think it's so important.
We're hearing about these men every day, and I'm not hearing about the women. Even the clip of the women celebrating was like 5 seconds long. But people need to remember, now this has to go to the Department of Justice, and keep this in mind. The Department of Justice is stacked with Donald Trump supporters. So as much as you think you're gonna get transparency, he put those people in place for a reason. And there's still an open investigation, and it's still gonna take some time, and they can't touch on certain names. So I have a feeling that at the end of this, the victims are, sadly, I hate to say this, are not gonna get the win that they think they're gonna get. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm kind of in both minds. Like, I don't think it's a win for the survivors. I think only way it's really, truly gonna be a win if Trump and any of the other men who are named in doing all of these horrifying things are actually held accountable. Like, that will be the win. We see many of these people who are named in jail admitting blah, blah, blah. I also agree with you. I don't like the fact that, and I'll call myself out, we know more about little clips of these emails, things like we're analyzing who is Bubba, what about this photo? Like, we've been thinking and talking and trying to dissect all of these emails, and in that conversation, the victims have been lost. And I've been reading some of the testimonies of victims, like Anuska de Georgiou, who told the court, loss of innocence, trust, and joy is not recoverable. So in that way, it doesn't sound like a win. Also, Tiela Davies, who testified, I'm still a victim because I'm fearful for my daughters and everyone's daughters. And in this world where there are predators in power, in a world where people can avoid justice if their pockets run deep enough. And I think that that's the world that we're living in.
But this is why I actually I know that we're not hearing a lot of the victims' names. A lot of the victims who have not come forward publicly don't want to be named publicly. They are being re-traumatized. They don't want their names out there because they don't want to relive the horror. So I think there is a reason to protect victims, but I do want to know all the names.
Yeah.
Because when you say, what is justice? Yes, justice is getting all of these horrifically rich, perverted men who've been accused of all of these terrible things, get them into jail. Let's be honest, right? But what the real justice is telling men in positions of power, you cannot do this.
If it was only so easy.
Yes, but my point is,
only so easy.
it sounds impossible. It sounds impossible until you actually nail some of these guys in court to say, people are watching you. And so that is, for me, as the mother of a daughter, I am terrified. But you know what's going to get justice? Put their names out and put them to trial.
Yeah. And also
That's
get them
what
to
I
remember
want.
they are the fathers of daughters.
Correct. Yeah.
So
To be continued.
we'll
I
see.
feel like this is not over.